still.
An animated movie can have just as complex a soundtrack as a live-action movie. And the movie's sound can be just as important as the visuals. So in this tutorial, we will look at sound effects, including downloading, creating unique sound effects, Foley, music, and editing. So let's start making some noise. The first thing to work out is your style. Most animated features go for realistic sound effects, much like what you would hear in a live-action feature. They're right for the action and usually don't draw attention to themselves. Hanna-Barbera cartoons and SpongeBob use a more cartoony style, with slide whistles and other funny sounds. You get to choose your style, but it's best to stay consistent. Most sound effects you will edit into your movie can come from sound effects libraries or other online sources such as Sound Bible. I get a lot of my effects off YouTube. You can just search for the sound you need, like Canon sound effect. Methods for downloading from YouTube are changing all the time, but as of this recording, there is y2mate.is. Just don't click on any suspicious links. Is the sound appropriate for your scene?
There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom!
The wrong sound effect can flatten your animation. Take the time to find the right sound for the action. Better still, gather a bunch of sounds and layer them. Let's try a gunshot, a cannon, an explosion or two, and some sweeteners, like debris. Way back in '86, I made this Super 8 movie in my backyard long before I had extensive editing capabilities. I recently got around to editing in sound effects, and it's a tour de force of layering and overlapping sound effects. Explosions are bigger when they're layered. Michael Bay would be proud. Stay tuned for more on editing. Foley is the recording of sound effects performed in sync with the movie instead of editing each individual sound. This can include footsteps, tools, eating, and banging props around. Here's a case where I got lazy and just copy-pasted a pen sound. Too repetitive, but a real pen is too quiet to get a clean recording. Time to get creative. What sounds like a pen clicking? A bit of a fire hazard, but that'll work. The setup involves a recorder and a video playback, using two devices or one that can do both. A phone can use Memo Recorder. A laptop can use Audacity, a free audio app that you can use for recording, audio enhancing, and mixing. Play back the video and perform the sounds in sync with the action. Do a few takes so that you can choose the best one. Just that slight variation in each click makes all the difference. A full Foley session will involve a lot of sound effects. A tray of sand or dirt or other surface can work for recording footsteps, preferably bigger than this one. Other sounds will call for some serious creativity and inventiveness. To really have sound effects that shine, you might find it best to record a sound to create the perfect, unique effect. Take yourself on a field trip and record some unique sounds, just like the pros do. I've done a tutorial on animating to music, so this is just about the musical score. There are three types of music in movies. There is source music, which is the music heard by a character on screen, like when it's played by a musician or heard on the radio. But notice that it's mixed in to sound like it's coming from an on-screen source. The underscore is music not heard by the characters and is there to enhance the mood. There are online sources for royalty-free music like freestockmusic.com. Some free and some paid. It's worth the effort to find music that is right for the scene and to edit it in so that it doesn't drown out dialogue.
We're moving this wedding party upstairs.
What's this? What's this?
Then there are songs where the character sings. Be my guest. I had a lot of fun taking a karaoke version of Be My Guest and rewriting the lyrics, so I strongly recommend that. Otherwise, you'll have copyright issues. So now you've got all your sound effects and music together, and it's time to edit. I like to use Adobe Premiere, but there are plenty of free editing apps. Audacity is a really good free app for editing just the audio, but it doesn't do video. Without making this a total software demo, The idea is to line up the sound effects with the action. An edited scene could look like this: a background or ambience track, like traffic or the ocean, that runs continuously, music, dialogue, and then the assorted sound effects. This is where you can layer sound effects as discussed earlier to create deeper, stronger, unique sound effects. The trick is to avoid overmodulation, which causes distortion. You also need to adjust the levels for each layer so they can be heard. There is no point in having a layer that is buried under other sounds. Give your scene depth by adjusting the levels based on how loud the sound would be in the scene and how far away from the camera it is. Dialogue is the most important, so set that first. Ambient should be mixed low so that it doesn't crowd out the foreground sounds. Also, make sure your music isn't drowning out the rest of the sounds. Even consider if you need music. Sometimes sound effects carry the scene just fine by themselves. Each sound effect should have its level set individually so that it is appropriate for the action. Sometimes a sound just needs to be there enough to accompany the action, but not draw attention to itself. Add fades to sounds that should fade in and out as needed. Filters can enhance effects as well, such as pitch and reverb. These you play around with, trying different levels until you get the sound you want. Take the time to adjust the levels so that they sound right for the action and their distance from the camera. In this scene from Paranorman, notice the differences between the sound on the TV and the sounds coming from the real world.
Yeah, coming, Dad.
Tell him to turn up the thermostat, too, will you?
When you're done editing, listen to the whole thing. Is there rhythm and range to the audio, or does it sound at times like constant noise? Try focusing on the sound in movies to get a real feel for how audio is properly mixed. I think you'll find that when you apply these principles of sound recording and editing, your animation will actually be enhanced by the effort. Thanks for watching.